every month I use Kerplunk to put books onto my TBR, and not every month do I finish that TBR. So what happens to those books? Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brie and this is 4 Paws in a Book. I've been using a TBR game of some sort for the last, I don't know, 3 years on BookTube, and it's always been met with varying success. Not always do I end up reading my actual TBR due to content, to mood reading, to life. I don't always stick to a TBR. I need a TBR to have some semblance of organization in my life, but I don't always stick to that TBR. Becca from Becca in the Books has this great series on her channel called Shelve It or Scrap It, where she has a stack of books and she is trying to read through all of them. And I thought that was a great idea for a video. Now, I don't have piles of books, but I do have a metaphorical pile, a hypothetical pile, if you will, of books that have been put by the wayside, books that I said I was so excited to read and then I didn't. Because of the way that my reading works, and I read a lot for content, if I come up with a new idea for a vlog or I change my vlog ideas for the month, sometimes that means that the books are going to change, and that's okay, but I was excited to read the book. That's why I put it on my TBR. What happens to that book when I don't read it at the end of the month? Up until this point, it's just gone back up onto the shelf, hoping to be chosen again. Today, I'm going to be starting a new series where we fix that. So I have a TBR card that is currently empty, or was currently empty before I started doing this, and I went through all of my TBRs from 2024, and I put all of the books that I have not read yet onto this cart. And in this video, we're going to be using a random number generator to read these books. Basically make them a top priority because they were something that I was really excited about. Then at the end of the year, whatever is still on there, I am going to take a hard look at. I'm not saying that I will automatically unhaul the books that are on there, because some of them, like, I actually am very excited about, and doing them randomly, I can't prioritize the books that I want. So I'm not saying that we are absolutely going to unhaul the books, but I am going to take a hard look at this, and if there is anything at the end of the year that I am just not overly excited to get to, they're gonna go. So that's the introduction. Let's go back to when I picked my first book. So I'm going to be using my phone and picking out a random number, and that's the first book that we're going to read. So here we go. All right, we've got book number 3. Book number 3 is Keep It in the Family by John Marrs. This was originally put on my TBR in June during Amazing Readathon, and listen, that was a pile of possibilities TBR, so I don't feel bad that I have not gotten to this one. However, I am kind of feeling a thriller mood today, and so I think this is a great book to start with. It still has my Kerplunk card in it that was a thriller, and this says, Mia and Finn are busy turning a house into their dream home when Mia unexpectedly falls pregnant. But just when they think the house is ready, Mia discovers a shocking message scored from into a skirting board. I will save them from the attic. Following the clue up in the eaves, the couple make a gruesome discovery. Their home was once a real-life murder house, with the evidence still concealed within the 4 walls. So that's what we're going to read. There's more, but I don't want to be, I want to be surprised. So this is what we're going to start working on today, and I'll talk to you when I have an update. Hello, I'm giving you a phone update because I am importing footage on my memory card, so my camera is just like chilling right there. But I'm a little over 250 pages into Keep It in the Family. And so far, it's very different than anything that I've read from John Marrs before. Obviously, I've only read his like social commentary series with like The One and The Passengers, and I've really enjoyed those. And this one feels more like a typical thriller, if that makes sense. So it's not playing on the human psychology element of, you know, what is a group of people going to do with this information? This is very different. This is more along the lines of like Frida McFadden or Ruth Ware type thriller. I don't know, just like what you would normally, like what you would typically think of your like traditional thrillers. It's very bonkers, and it definitely is playing into the like idea of like nobody knows everything, and there's definitely somebody not giving me the whole story. And we did have one big reveal, and I was like, oh, okay, we must be like wrapping the book up. And then I was like, oh, I still have 200, like I have 100 pages left. Yeah, like over 100 pages left. And I was like, oh, we should be like about done. And then that wasn't actually the reveal. That was like very much a midway point. So pacing is a little bit weird, but I'm still having a good time with it. Obviously, like, I'm listening to this in one afternoon. I just like have been messing around on my computer making graphics and things like that, and so that's what I've been doing this afternoon, is listening to this. Having a good time. Would like to try to finish it today, but like I said, I have like an hour and a half left of my listening speed, and it is almost 7 o'clock. Don't know that that's gonna happen because I do need to edit a video, but we're gonna try. So just thought I would touch base with you guys, and I'll come back to you probably in the morning once I finish this. Hello, I have finished Keep It in the Family by John Mars. I'm giving this 4 stars. This was bonkers, like bananas. I went into this thinking like, oh, this is just like your traditional thriller. This feels like it was written by Frida McFadden, which like I'm 100% standing by the fact that this feels like it was written by Frida McFadden because of the bonkers ending, but actually not because of the like traditional thriller aspect of it. Because of the bonkers ending. This is a bonkers ending. This was so smartly done in that we had several point of view characters, and it was done in a way where like you could tell the POV character was holding something back, but you couldn't really tell what. And so everybody knew something, but you couldn't really like puzzle everything together until the very end. Obviously, like I had some pretty good like ideas, and I don't think anything was so out of the blue that like I was mad about it. When you go back and you look and you think about how we got to this point, I think you can find it. But yeah, I had a good time with it, and the audiobook was really good. So 4 stars, glad I read it. It's another John Mars in the books. I'm hopefully gonna be reading a lot of these before the end of the year. I have like 3 more on my TBR that I would love to be able to get to before the end of the year. So that's the plan. So I am cheating a little bit, and I am not doing a random number generator for this next book. And that is for the sole reason that I need to read Ashes in the Starcursed King for reasons. And the reason being that I received an ARC for the 3rd book, and I would love to read it with some friends, and I need to have read this one first. So that's what we're doing. I apologize. The next one will be a random number generator, but I want to get this one read, and this one was on the list, so we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna vlog it. I also need a reason to talk about this book. So I am 133 pages into this so far. I have read most of it, most of that has been from today. I haven't been like super productive in my reading today for some reason. I just like have not wanted to read. And that's okay. Like, you have those days. However, with like certain content that needs to come out, that's a problem. I am enjoying this so much. It's been over a year since I read Serpent the Wings of Night, and yet I found that I immediately was like brought right back into this world. Chris has such a way of writing that it's not a style where like if I was binging this I would feel bored and feel like we are recapping things that don't need to be recapped. However, she's letting us know the important things that happened in the first book that we like need to pay attention to in this book. There's further explanation of the world and the lore and the history of what's going on around our characters, and I am just like so happy to be back in this world. This is definitely more of a political story. It's definitely like fantasy forward, which I am enjoying. Like, obviously we are having the banter between our 2 main characters. We are having the like conversations and still like them trying to get to know each other and kind of be cute, even though like they still hate each other, but they really don't hate each other. It's a whole thing. However, we are still working with these forces outside of the couple, this external conflict with this like revolution and upheaval. I will get back to you after I've read a little bit more, but I just wanted to let you know that I was cheating a little bit, so sorry about that. Hello, I've come to you with an update. I finished The Ashes in the Starcursed King. I gave it 4 stars. I really, really loved it. I love this couple. I love how they are just like, they're so good for each other. They're perfect for each other, and while they're not perfect on their own, they work together in such a way. And I also am finding that I love romantasy duologies because in the first book it is about them usually being like enemies to lovers. You know, there's drama, there's, you know, he wants to kill her, she wants to kill him kind of thing. In the second book we have kind of resolved that, and the conflict of the book is generally not the actual romance. It is the 2 of them fighting the world together, and I am finding that that is like my bread and butter. And so let me know down in the comments below your favorite romantasy duology, if you have one, because I might want to like try them out. Like House of Bane and Blood and that duology is like just god tier at this point, but I know there's more out there, so let me know I'll look into that. But it is time to pick another book. So let's do that. Okay, so somehow they, I did the math wrong. I don't know. There's 12 on there. Maybe I forgot to put a book on there from, like, it was in another pile. I don't know. We have 12 books on our pile now. So let's see if we'll, all right. 7. All right, let's go see what number 7 is. All right, so here is the cart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Better Than Fiction by Alexa Martin. All right. Oops. So Better Than Fiction by Alexa Martin is the next pick for this. This is a contemporary romance, and I believe it's kind of hate to love or rivals to lovers. So I will check back with you once I know what's going on in this book. Hi, you're getting a phone update because I did not bring my camera to work today. I am about 25% of the way through Better Than Fiction by Alexa Martin, and at this point the book is perfectly fine. I don't know that I want to like DNF it. Like I'll probably finish it. It's a quick read, but it's not doing anything great, fantastic. At the 25% mark, essentially we have our main character who has inherited a bookstore from her grandmother, except she doesn't read, which is weird. Like why would her grandmother give her a bookshop if she's not a reader? It's weird. I feel like that was a weird character choice. And then our male main character is an author that has come to Denver, of all places, to write his next book. So she is going to go around Denver with him and like show him the sights, which, like, okay, Colorado is a pretty place. Not as pretty as Utah, but Colorado is a pretty place. There is a mountain. There's more mountains, but I always think it's really funny that Colorado is like, we're the prettiest state in the country. And I lived there for about almost a year. They have one mountain. It's very funny because as you're looking at the skyline, you have the one big Pikes Peak, whereas Utah has literally like just tons of mountains. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I just think it's funny. So anyways, he's going to go around with her and show her the sights. And for some reason they're butting heads. I don't really know why. I don't know. Everything just feels so surface level at this point. There's some like familial tension like between the dad, like her dad, because like he kind of abandoned her, and that's why she was with her grandmother. That's why like they have a connection or had a connection before she died. And then like she has a stepsister because her dad abandoned her for this other new family, whatever. And there's nothing that has explained anything. Everything feels so surface level at this point. I've liked Alexa Martin books in the past, but I don't think I've ever loved an Alexa Martin book. Like I read her entire football series and they were fine, but I feel like we had the same problem with characters not having enough of a backstory or enough of a reasoning behind their trauma, their, whatever. It was just like, oh, this character has this trait because that's what fits with the plot, rather than actually explaining it. So that's my thoughts. 25% in. I finished up Better Than Fiction last night by Alexa Martin. I am gonna give this 3.5 stars. I was actually like starting to really enjoy it. Like I talked to you yesterday and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish this up. And it was like, it's a fine book, whatever. But then I was like actually starting to have fun with it. I think that the banter between the two main characters was like starting to it was just like fun, right? We weren't really diving into anything deep or whatever, but it was just a fun time. Then the third act conflict happened and it was so fabricated and so weird. Like it felt false, it felt fake, it did not feel genuine to what the characters were going through, and it was just like she was just mad at him for no reason but just so that we could break up. And it was just like, and it was, I think it was actually really funny because I think even the author knew that it didn't feel genuine, because it kind of felt meta in this whole like, well, now I'm doing the same thing that Jasper's doing by this lie of omission. And you're like, yeah, you are, because what he did was not that big of a deal. I don't know. It's just like, it's one of those things. It's like, maybe you could have just had a conversation with him and been like, look, I don't love that you did this. I don't love that you kept this from me, but I am also an adult and I am aware that we were just getting to know each other. So yeah, anyways. So I'm gonna do one more book. This morning I did not film it because it was before I went to work. But goodness, it's windy. I got 7, which was Middle of the Night by Riley Sager, which is actually one that I really want to read, so I'm excited about this. And I started listening to this at work today. I got this from Libro FM, I think as an ALC. I'm pretty sure. I just haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. But this was on last month's TBR, and it was one that I really wanted to read last month, but I just didn't get to. So we're doing it now. And I'm about 30% of the way through. I don't know, we're going back and forth between like when he was a kid and then as an adult. And like these like weird creepy things are starting to happen where this boy's like, it's not the ghost of this boy, but things are happening that are reminding him of when the boy disappeared, when he was kidnapped. It's fine at this point, but super early on. But it definitely has not hooked me yet the way that I feel some Riley Sager books have. Not all of them, but we'll see. But when I finish this, I'm gonna give it a ranking of all of my Riley Sager books, because I've read all of them. So I have a new drink. I have not been drinking a lot of soda recently, which is great. However, every month at work, we have like a soda shop set up, and we always do these different flavors, these different like soda mixes of the month. And so for September, the office manager and I made the fall drink, and it's the delightful apple pie, and it's Dr. Pepper and vanilla creamer with like apple pie syrup, and it's delicious. It tastes like fall in a cup. It's great. So, it's my little treat for today. Like I said, I haven't been drinking a lot of soda lately. I like occasionally will have a Dr. Pepper Zero, but it's just not something that I gravitate towards anymore. Like I really like drinking Fresca, and then I drink Celsius, which is probably bad, but it's what I have to do in the afternoon sometimes. But yeah, that's my update for right now. I've been talking for a while, but I'm gonna go book shopping today because there is a little bookshop on my way home that opened a few months ago, and I just haven't had a chance to go to it. So we're gonna do that. I might make a TikTok or something. I don't know. But come with me. Okay. I didn't film much inside because it was weird to like film it vertically, and then for this I ended up getting 2 books. I was like almost on my way out, and then I was like, I'm gonna go check the new stuff. And I found Daydream by Hannah Grace. Neva and Brittany are reading this right now, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is the best one. I haven't read Wildfire yet, but I'm excited about this. I liked Icebreaker, so that's exciting. And then I found Kingmakers. I didn't realize that this one was out yet because I have it on NetGalley, and like they just sent it to me, so I didn't realize it was out. So sorry. But it has really big pretty straight edges, and this is like mafia, dark academia mafia romance, and like I like Sophie Lark. Should be good. So that's what I got. That's my update. I'm gonna head home now. I need to find a gas station because I'm almost out of gas, so I'm gonna do that and head home, and I'll talk to you later. Hello everybody. I finished Middle of the Night by Riley Sager last night. I'm giving it 4 stars. I enjoyed this. I had such a good time with this book. It started so slow, but I stayed up until after midnight reading this book, and it's been a while since I have done that with a book. I had a good time with it. Was it a little bit more of like a popcorn type thriller, more along the lines of like The Last Time I Lied, or kind of more like The Only One Left, which I guess is his most recent one, so that kind of makes sense. But it was very twisty and turny, and like there was a large cast of characters that all kind of like came together at the end and made sense why they had their like, the characters made sense like in the acts that they were playing. I have someone working outside my house, and I've been trying to film this all day long because he was like, oh, I'm only going to be here a couple of hours, and it's now 4:30, and he's like, oh yeah, I still have 2 hours left. And I was like, well, I have to film, so here we are. Anyways, I had a good time with this. So let's talk about rankings. Let's talk about where I would put this, because I've now read all of them. I DNF'd his first one. Final Girls, is that what it is? So obviously that one's gonna be at the bottom. Then it's gonna be The House Across the Lake. I didn't like that one. That one was not fun. And then Survive the Night, which I didn't like. I hated the ending of it, but I think a lot of the story was really entertaining. And then, hold on, my Riley Sager collection is over here. So I guess the next one would be The Last Time I Lied, because I gave that one 3.5 stars. It was fine. It kind of the same feeling here. They're just very popcorn thriller. And then I guess it would be this one, and then the only one left, Lock Every Door and Home Before Dark, I both gave 5 stars. I think Home Before Dark is probably my favorite of the two. So yeah, Home Before Dark, Lock Every Door, the only one left, Middle of the Night, Survive the Night, nope, Last Time I Lied, Survive the Night, The House Across the Lake, Final Girls. That's my ranking. Anyways, that is going to close out the vlog. I think 4 books for an episode is good. However, I still have books on this cart that still need to be read. I will likely still have books that get added to the TBR. Not yet though. I have not substituted out books yet, and it is the 11th, so that's good. But I still have 10 books left on it, so we're gonna at least do 2 more of these episodes and at least try to get these read before the end of the year. Let me know if you like this concept, this vlog series. And I think I'm also going to add my Aurelium TBR to this if I don't finish that. So those books will also go onto the cart. So if you want to see what those books are, I'll leave that right here. If you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!